Good evening and welcome to the program. This is TV47 Weekend with me, Karen Karimi, and our sign language interpreter tonight is Catherine Simaloy. In the highlights this Sunday. Tonight, Azimio leaders tour Machakos County as Kenya Kwanza leaders woo Kakamega voters.
Munataka tuendelee kupanga na juu ama munasema tubadilishe tuanze na chini?
Nitasimama nyuma yake, nitamsaidia, tutafanya kazi na hamtasikia ile ubishi munasikia kwa hiyo ofisi leo.
Also tonight, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission's Disputes Committee to settle aspirants' credential issues next week.
The substantive complaints in all the files will be heard on 15th of June 2022.
Plus, our senior political reporter Apollo Kamau shines a spotlight on Scramble for the women vote in the coming polls.
Has the female vote dynamic therefore changed in terms of the running mates selected? Not as yet. We cannot see it as yet.
In our top story tonight, Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance Captain Raila Odinga and Wiper Party leader Kwanza Musyoka have today popularized the Azimio One Kenya agenda, asking the Ukambani community to rally behind them in the August polls. Addressing the crowd, Odinga promised to introduce free education to benefit every Kenyan child if elected president.
The Azimio train, led by its captain Raila Odinga and Wiper leader Kwanza Musyoka, landed in Ukambani, wooing voters from Masii and Makueni. Addressing the congregation, the ODM chief thanked the residents for rallying behind Azimio, promising them goodies immediately he assumes office after the August polls.
Asanteni sana. Wacha nianze kwanza kutoa shukrani kwenu watu wa Matuu. Nyinyi mmekaa na sisi kila mara tukiwa na Kalonzo. Mwaka 2013 mtupiga sisi hapa pole kwa fujo sana.
Odinga, who was accompanied by Kalonzo, rubbished Kenya Kwanza's economic model, terming it as a narrative which does not exist on earth.
Tumeleta mpango unaitwa Baba Care. Semeni Baba Care. Baba Care. Baba Care. Kila Mkenya, mtoto, mama, vijana, wazee, wote watakuwa ndani ya bima ya matibabu.
Nani anakula mahindi? Nani anakula mbolea? Nani anaongoza kwa ufisadi Kenya? Mwizi ni nani?
Tarehe 9 mwezi wa 8, mimi nataka kusihi watu wa Matuu kutoka pale juu katika chama cha Azimio. Mimi nawaomba muamke asubuhi, mumchague Rais Raila Amolo Odinga. Mungu awabariki.
Kalonzo, on the other hand, promised to fully support Odinga and ensure that Ukambani people secure their position in the Azimio government.
Kalonzo ananyamaza, wanamuingilia. Wanasema amepatiwa mawaziri 4, amepatiwa 20% serikali. Mimi na Raila tutapanga vile tutagawa hii serikali, sio kuambiwa na watu wengine ambao wako hapa.
In Rift Valley, Azimio running mate Martha Karua toured Uasin Gishu, the home ground of their rival Deputy President William Ruto, asking Eldoret residents to rally behind Odinga.
Tumekubaliana na kama unataka kiti ya rais, heshimu rais aliyoko, sababu ukikalia utastahili kuheshimika. Na ukumbuke, sijasema usikosoe rais au usikosoe governor, wakosoe kabisa, lakini kwa misingi ya sababu za kutosha na kwa heshima. Hatutaki nchi ya kukosa adabu.
Karua promised that the Azimio government will create more job opportunities among the youth once elected.
Na mimi namuhakikishia, nikiwa nyuma yake, nitamsaidia vile ameniita msaidizi wake wa kisiasa. Nitasimama nyuma yake, nitamsaidia, tutafanya kazi na hamtasikia ile ubishi mnasikia kwa hiyo ofisi leo.
Joan Kimani, TV47.
Kenya Kwanza leaders from Mulembe Nation have promised to deliver more than 70% of the region's votes to the coalition. Speaking at Buhungu in Kakamega County, the leaders vowed to put up a fierce vote hunt in Luhya Nation against their opponents.
The Kenya Kwanza Brigade camped in Kakamega County today, attending a church service in the morning at Christ the King ACK and later holding a mega rally at Buhungu Stadium. DP William Ruto and his Kenya Kwanza Brigade slammed their opponents, saying that they have nothing to show despite serving in the previous governments.
Tumekuwa katika hii siasa karibu miaka 40, lakini hawatakuonyesha hata barabara moja wametengeneza. Hawatakuonyesha chochote wametengeneza. Ukiwauliza wanatuambia Mandela moment. Ukiwauliza wanasema second liberation. Mimi nataka niwaambie watu wa Kakamega, safari hii na wauliza kwa unyenyekevu, we cannot crumble. Hatuwezi kucheza kamari na maisha na future ya taifa letu la Kenya. Sasa mimi nataka niwaulize watu wa Kenya, wale waliosambaratisha code, wakasambaratisha NAK, wakasambaratisha NASA, wamesambaratisha Jubilee, munataka tuwapatie nchi yetu wasambaratishe?
The leaders promised to deliver more than 70% of Mulembe votes in the August polls.
Wameharibu, wametuweka kwa madeni. Tunafuliza kitaifa na nyinyi mnafuliza hapa chini. Tumechoka.
We are not playgrounds for anybody. We are not the undecided. Neither are we the fill-ups of other people's half-empty cups.
The region to remain in the opposition.
Kuna opinion polls fulani ambazo zinasema ati wewe hauna umaarufu hapa Kakamega. Leo umejionea the real opinion poll iko hapa Buhungu Stadium na wewe ndio unaongoza. Sisi jamii ya Luhya, we have no option but to deliver 90% of our votes to William Samoei Ruto. I want to tell Uhuru, I want to tell Raila, I want to tell them, wembe ni ule 94% tulipatia Mwai Kibaki 2002, 96% tulipatia Raila 2017, 95% we shall give William Samoei Ruto.
From Busia to Trans Nzoia, from Vihiga to Bungoma, from Kakamega to Nakuru to Nairobi to Mombasa, anywhere the house of Mulembe is domiciled, tumevuka, tumeamua ni William Samoei Arap Ruto.
Zungusha kitendawili miaka 4 imebaki siku 50. Kama Uhuru Kenyatta ameshindwa kuleta kwa mlima, hiyo maneno yanawezekana?
The leaders have promised to revive industries in the region, improve infrastructure, as well as lowering the cost of living if they win the next elections. According to the Kenya Kwanza leaders, today's meeting has been a Buhungu declaration where they have vowed not to deliver 70% but 95% of Mulembe votes. Violet Auma, TV47, Kakamega.
Presidential hopeful David Mwaure Waihega has vowed to prioritize eradication of corruption should he succeed President Uhuru Kenyatta come August 9th, when Kenyans will be going for the general elections. Mwaure, who is battling it out with UDA's Deputy President William Ruto, Azimio la Umoja candidate Raila Odinga, and Roots Party's George Luchiri Wajakoya, blamed deep-rooted corruption for the deterioration of Kenya's economy, saying eradication of the demon required urgent, fresh and determined leadership. Speaking after attending a church service at Tabernacle Church in Ruiru, Kiambu County, Mwaure urged Kenyans to rally behind his candidature and support his agenda.
At time, I want also to be the leader, and my sister Ruth and I are committed to be the presidency that will wipe away corruption completely and make corruption a thing of the past. And we know it is possible because it has happened in other nations. I know the Bible says there are some things that happen on this earth, and if the Lord does not haste his coming, even the righteous wanaweza wakaingia kwa hiyo, lakini sisi hatutarudi corruption iishe na wakati Yesu atarudi.
For us, this is a time Mungu ametupatia nafasi kama kanisa to stand in the gap. Let us all remember that Kenya has been given a prophecy of revival. Not to forget that I am born again. I will repeat, I am born again, standing in the gap of uncommon favor. I have been picked, and I am not the firstborn. I have been picked with uncommon favor to stand in the gap for the women, the children, the Kenyans, and first of all, the Church of Christ. Bwana asifiwe.
Moving on, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission Dispute Resolutions Committee entered its second day of resolving cases Sunday, ahead of making substantive decision for a total of 262 cases filed against the electoral agency. As Micah Gwongo reports, Nairobi Senator Johnson Sakaja has 4 cases filed against him before the committee, and his issues have been scheduled for hearing on Wednesday this week.
The second day of IEBC Dispute Resolution Committee at Milimani Law Courts in Kenya's capital. 3 panels are set to conduct hearings for a total of 262 cases filed against IEBC as the quest for power takes its direction ahead of August 9th general election. Nairobi Senator Johnson Sakaja has 4 cases filed against him before the committee, with his matter scheduled for hearing on Wednesday this week.
The substantive complaints in all the files will be heard on 15th of June 2022 at 2 p.m. The registry to facilitate the furnishing of the complaints to all the parties at the parties' costs at the earliest instance. The orders that we have been made are to apply in complaint number 217, 218 and 226 of all of 2022.
The complainants are challenging his clearance to run for the office on grounds that his academic papers presented for clearance are fake, days after he was cleared by the Electoral Commission. He appeared at the Milimani Law Courts alongside his running mate James Mushiri, a former banker. One of the 4 petitioners, Dennis Raku Wahome, wants the senator kicked out of the gubernatorial race for failing to meet the constitutional and statutory requirements to have a degree. In an affidavit supporting his case, Wahome said the senator, while filing the Jubilee nomination form in 2017, wrote that he graduated from the University of Nairobi.
The statement again by Learned Counsel for the first respondent that there may be more than just this matter in respect of this electable position and not just the electable position but the first respondent.
The controversy over Sakaja's academic qualifications took a new twist after inconsistencies started to emerge, days after he was cleared to run for Nairobi governor. Evans Kaita, Alex Musalia and Timothy Ayeku have also submitted their cases against the senator on the same grounds of failing to meet statutory requirements to have a degree. Sakaja has on several occasions asserted that he graduated with a degree in actuarial science from the University of Nairobi.
By the returning officer. We were not served directly.
Through his advocate Adrian Kamodo, Sakaja now wants the panel to recuse one of its members on grounds that he has a relationship with one of the Nairobi gubernatorial candidates.
Because we'll be seeking the recusal of Mr. Wanderi for the reasons that our client is sufficiently advised that he has relations with one of the candidates in the gubernatorial race for the Nairobi City County.
The panel, however, asked Kamodo to submit his request in writing Monday midday. After the resolution of the cases, IEBC will embark on printing the ballot papers. Mike Kagwongo, TV 47, Nairobi.
The scramble for the country's women's vote gained traction this week after an opinion poll showed Kenya Kwanza presidential candidate, Deputy President William Ruto, and his main rival, Azimio la Umoja's Raila Odinga, neck in neck on women supporters. Ruto was the first to dangle the carrot for the undecided 20% of women voters by promising to allocate half of his cabinet to women, among other goodies. TV47's Apollo Kamau has that report.
The battle for the country's undecided women voters went a notch higher this week after polling firm Infotrack capped the figure at 25%, which is about 5 million voters of the unaudited 22.5 million voters register. According to Infotrack, Azimio presidential candidate Raila Odinga leads Kenya Kwanza's Deputy President William Ruto with a 1% margin gap, with Odinga garnering 38% of women's support, while Ruto trails him at 37%.
Has the female vote dynamic therefore changed in terms of the running mates selected? Not as yet. We cannot see it as yet. However, what we do see is that 25% of the female vote currently is undecided.
With 25% of women voters undecided about who to support between Odinga and Ruto, the Deputy President was on a charm offensive 2 days after the poll was released, unleashing a raft of promises to woo women voters. The Deputy President promised women half of his government if he won the election, half of the 50 billion shillings Hustlers Fund, an increased number of women in leadership positions, free diapers for new mothers, and free sanitary pads for girls.
Women are 52% of the voters in Kenya. Yes, we matter.
50% ya hiyo bilioni 50 ya Hustler Fund itatengwa kwa wamama, ama it will be ring-fenced.
Odinga, on the other hand, having nominated Martha Karua to woo women voters, has already promised financial support for single mothers and widows, as well as financial opportunities, while seeking to make history as the first Kenyan president to have a woman deputy president in case he wins the election.
History is calling on us to produce our first woman deputy president.
The stakes for the women's vote are so high in this election that out of the 4 presidential candidates, 3 have chosen women as their running mates, save for Ruto and his running mate Rigathi Gachagua.
If women know what this opportunity means to them, if they can see beyond tribe, beyond political formations, if they can see this as an opportunity.
In the 2017 general election, women voters constituted 46.6% of the 19.6 registered voters. Apol Kamau, TV47.
Thank you, Paula, for that report. The county government of Marsabit, in partnership with agencies that deal with livestock, are educating pastoralist communities on flock management, healthy consumption of animal products, and value addition of animal products, which they believe will help the communities from recording losses during dry spells. The communities were also taught how to address malnutrition in children.
Whenever there is drought in the country, pastoralist communities are hit the hardest. Starvation, malnutrition, loss of livestock, and walking hundreds of kilometers in search of water in pasture becomes their way of life. Today, the county government of Marsabit, in partnership with agencies that deal with livestock, are educating pastoralist communities on flock management, healthy consumption of animal products, and value addition of animal products.
Tumeanzisha kampeni ya kuhamasisha wafugaji kubadilisha tabia ya vile wanavyofuga mifugo yao na vile wanaohudumia mifugo yao.
The county's officials reported that communities lacked knowledge of the health benefits of some of the animal products like milk and meat for the health of children, and that they will sell the products to purchase foods that are unhealthy.
Wanatoa mazao
lakini hii mazao waitumii pengine kulisha watoto yao, kwa sababu kuna wengine wanatoa maziwa, pengine wanafikiria yote ni ya kwenda sokoni, na unaona ile chakula pengine wananunua bandara wakiuza kama maziwa ama wauze wanyama yao, ni pengine ile chakula haitasaidia sana pengine watoto, kwa sababu watoto wanahitaji